I'm Janessa Schwartz. I'm currently the language arts teacher at Yavneh Day School, but I'm also an alum.
I'm Lily Guggenheim, and I went to Yavneh Day School from 2007 to 2016.
I'm Naomi Bergman. I graduated the class of 21.
I'm Noah.
I'm Zach. I went to Yavneh for 6 years, 2nd to 8th grade.
Went to Yavneh basically my whole life, from when I was 18 months to 8th grade, which is pretty crazy.
We had just finished reading By the Great Horn Spoon. Mrs. Strawn, our 4th grade teacher, brought us out to the field right by the pool, and we had a picnic and we talked about the book. And I just remember feeling so heard. That was the first time, I think, in my memory that we really discussed literature. It felt like equals between us, the students, and the teacher. We just kind of chatted about the book and we had snacks and it felt really grown up. And of course, Danny Taven, one of my classmates, brought his mom's famous chocolate cake, and there's a secret ingredient that I won't reveal. But that is forever lodged in my memory as perhaps the moment that I fell in love with literature and talking about literature.
All of my favorite Yavneh memories have to do with my friends.
I'd probably say the thing that stands out to me as being like one of my favorite things is the Israel trip.
Oh yeah.
Probably the gold rush. We got to go outdoors and we got to dress up and we got a pan for fake gold.
The gold rush. I remember cooking over an open fire, a can of beans. I remember sleeping on the ground. Our tents weren't even really tents. They were just tarps draped over trees. I remember tefillah in the morning when the mist was just kind of hanging over the mountains and over the grass. And I didn't know it then, of course, but now I think back on that gold rush experience and it really just epitomizes the way that Yavneh integrates Judaism into everything. It was a mix of science and language arts and Jewish studies all rolled into one. And the students, we don't even know what's happening. It just happens so naturally.
Purim. It was the day we all looked forward to every year. The 8th graders would do a Purim skit. I did mine, and I also enjoyed watching everybody's through the years before me. I even came back the year after to watch my friends do their Purim skit once I was in high school. It was the time where you just sat there laughing so much that your tummy hurt. It was a day to remember every year.
Purim.
Oh, yeah.
Every year Purim was awesome.
That's true.
That was one thing I don't think I
parade.
took for granted at the time. Like, I loved every moment of Purim.
Dude.
It was so fun.
Bro.
At Yavneh, I learned the very important lesson that is reaching out to people that you don't necessarily have similar interests to. This helped me a lot during high school too, because it's helped me make a lot of friends talking to people that I wouldn't think to if I hadn't gone to Yavneh, where we have such a close-knit community.
Well, I learned how to be a decent person. Once you're out of the Yavneh bubble, you see there are other kinds of people in this world. Luckily, Yavneh prepares you to be a kind individual who cares about other people.
I think when you're in Yavneh and you have to pick those values for the Keshev Kavod, you take for granted that even exists. You take for granted that a school actually has a set of moral values, these virtues that you try to instill in young people. When you leave that place and you go to a school like where we're at, where it's 1,400 kids or more at Saratoga High School, you notice just different levels of maturity that you wouldn't have otherwise. After coming out of Yavneh, I feel like I understand so much more about the world and how people are supposed to interact with each other in a genuinely good way, you know?
Yeah.
That other people just don't get. It was just obvious to us at the time, right? That's because we always grew up with that, but I wouldn't even say it's obvious to a majority of people.
You definitely take it for granted.
The earlier you get into that Yavneh community, you get such a step up in the rest of your life.
I think another really important thing that I learned from Yavneh is who I was as a Jew. It gave me a very strong Jewish identity so that when I went out into the larger world, I knew who I was and I knew how I wanted to walk through the world.
For 40 years, I'd hope to see Yavneh expanding and growing, sharing the Jewish values that were really important with me when I grow up.
I hope that in 40 years, Yavneh is still innovating the field of Jewish education.
I just hope that Yavna's still doing their thing, and I hope that many kids still go there, because I think if you're Jewish or not, like, I mean, it's just a great place to be. It's very corny, but you can really be anyone you want to be there, and you don't get judged at all,
Really accepting.
which is pretty amazing, and again, something I took for granted.
I hope that in 40 years, Yavneh is still a sanctuary for students where they get to learn the importance of community and kindness and education, and see how important it is to find comfort in your fellow Jewish community.
One bit of parting words from me would be to all the people that still go to Yavneh. It's very difficult to do this. Actually appreciate what you guys have at Yavneh every single second, and know that when a second goes by, that really is a second less that you're going to have at Yavneh. And Yavneh was the best time of my life, 100%.
Oh, yeah. You kidding me? I wish I'd go back.
It's the best community. You have the best relationships with your classmates because all of you guys are friends. Like, realize how amazing that is, that you have personal bonds with your teacher.
And with each other. Like, with that small of a class, Zach and I are like this, like at school. Like, we are like the strongest bond.
That type of bond is a bond that you can have with like all of your classmates, and that's not a normal thing. Like, all the things that you have at Yavneh, the faculty and the administration at Yavneh has designed the school that way on purpose so that you'd have that positive experience. It's not normal to have at any other place in the world, even other private schools.
Yeah.
Even other private
It's
schools.
something special.
Yeah, Yavneh is a really special place, so appreciate the time that you have there, because you're going to want to go back. Because we want to go back.
Trust us. We'll be back for Shabbat very soon.
Yeah.